Stream for this game in the Contenders Summer Series against Worldwide. I'm Funky Monk, I'll be your play-by-play, and joining me is Peripheral Figure.
Hello. Various denizens of the internet. We're here. I mean, we're casting NA Contenders Summer Series, which has been quite an eventful split thus far, I believe. Of course, we've had a fair few storylines. We've had teams like O3 Splash coming from Open Division, rocketing straight to the top of the standings. And we have had teams that have not had quite that same success. But both of these teams, I mean, they still have a chance to rise up in the standings to make a name for themselves. Good Boys currently sitting at that 3-3 record, in fifth place, which is actually a pretty good place to be at that halfway point. Worldwide, on the other hand, not quite the same success thus far. But of course, there are still 3 matches left. There's ample time. Actually, no, I don't. It's not 3 matches. My mistake. There's a fair few matches left. There's enough for them to get their record to look significantly better, I feel.
Yeah, and they've had a rough go of it, haven't they? I mean, their first 4 matches were against all 4 teams in the top 4 currently. The first was against Wisp, second against Saints, third against O3 Splash, fourth against Pirates in Pajamas. You can see right there, they've had a rough go of it, but they did almost beat Wisp 2-3, so it's not been totally horrible for them, and they're definitely going to have some of the more easy matches as we move through the group stage.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at the rest of these matches, you have Rift, you have Dragon Dance, you have Timeless. Those are all winnable games for them, I believe. I mean, Rift and Dragon Dance are near the bottom end of the standings as well. Hey, Good Boys schedule. They've had a similarly difficult run of games. Initially going up against Pirates in Pajamas, then Amplify. But their most recent match, a 3-2 loss against Wisp, the same score that Worldwide was able to put up against what is a pretty solid team in Wisp. So even in spite of the records of both of these teams, I'm inclined to think we're going to have a decently close match on our hands, at least one closer than the standings would suggest.
Yeah, and even talking about same scores, look at the Amplify scoreline, right? 3-2 for both of them. The only real differentiator in the matchups that they've had is Good Boys took a map versus Pirates in Pajamas and won their game against Afterlife. So we might potentially be seeing Good Boys coming out a little bit more favorably in the initial matchup here, but considering how these teams were like 3rd and 4th respectively when they came up through Open Division, I think it's seriously all to play for.
Yeah, and like you said, these teams were similarly placed in Open Division, and to a degree, I think that Open Division placement can kind of give you a bit of a glimpse of a team's performance. Like, for example, you look at O3 Splash, who I believe won Open Division, they're top of the standings. But I mean, both of these teams, they made it through the gauntlet. They've taken their wins. They're now facing off against the top of tier 2. Really, they are arguably top of tier 2 in their own right, but it's going to be a very good match, a very entertaining one. I'm sure it's going to be good to see how these teams play against each other, the compositional matchups, the player matchups, the hero duels of interest, especially with the recent patch, which I believe has shaken up the meta a little bit, most notably the buffs to Soldier 76 and a few other characters alongside. But going into our first map, Lijiang Tower, it does seem to favor a bit more of those compositions, being, of course, that control map with Control Center being this very heavy brawl point. Night Market, more of the same, although you do see a bit more compositional variety, and the same applies for Garden. But what comps do you think, what play styles, what compositions do you think these teams are going to run out on?
Well, like you said, I think both teams do have a good history with their brawl comps, but I think in general what we're going to be seeing is a lot of that kind of Sombra Tracer stuff that we've been seeing for the past couple of seasons of OWL, where it's just the synergy between the two characters and the fact that they can just go on and assassinate squishies basically on their own, not even necessarily needing a dive tank's help if they catch someone isolated enough. The potency of that synergy is why that DPS duo is meta.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, like you said, the Sombra Tracer is very good, but the addition, I mean, it's not just the DPS duos 2v2ing each other, is it? There's a whole other there's a whole other aspect to it. There's the tank lines, the Winstons on both teams, the Brig Ana backlines peeling for each other, and I feel like that's gonna. I mean, that really just adds so much to the game. That Sombra Tracer is very strong. I think it's the Sombra Tracer with the Winston dive and the Ramatra Lucio Bap compositions. I believe are the ones that are going to see the most playtime in this match. On Garden in particular, I think it's likely we see the dive come out with the Brigana, but yeah, I mean the whole concept of dive comp is that it can take space quickly, it can set up for those dives, and it can just blow up a character or a hero that is kind of out of position or isolated or can't really help itself or be helped by its teammates. But at this level of play, at this tier 2 level, at this contenders level of play, the term contenders kind of carries enough weight on its own. But I feel like the individual skill and the team cohesion is so good that both teams are going to have to play super well to get the value out of that Sombra Tracer that you were describing.
Yeah, it is a very high skill floor composition, but the skill ceiling for it is nearly infinite.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I mean we've seen that in Owl. We're seeing it now with teams like Atlanta Reign, with Shanghai Dragons in the past. It's one of those compositions where it's truly just so fun to watch. I mean, it feels like there's no end to the entertainment because you can have Anas with the crazy nades, the crazy sleeps, crazy mechanical skill from the Sombra and Tracer. The Winston doing Winston things as he often does, but
yeah. And Brig, who's also there.
There's also Brig. Yeah,
Yes.
So actually, as a mid-support player myself, I am a bit partial. I am a bit partial towards Brig. I think
of course
she doesn't really show up as much in a highlight reel unless you get like a crazy rally stun, a rally stunning a Sombra out of EMP. But I believe the art of peeling on Brig is an art in and of itself. Is something a highlight reel that makes her a highlight reel kind of character in and of itself. Maybe not for everyone, but I greatly enjoy watching a Brig do their thing in the backline.
Yeah, I definitely think that Brig certainly has her place in this composition. I do sometimes think that maybe on a map, the sort of push maps that we're seeing, we do see the kind of substitutions, like the backline, for instance, subbing out that Brig Ana for potentially a Kiri Lucio, just to give the comp a little bit more speed and aggression.
Yeah, I think that more of that brawlier backline. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, Good Boys with the lineup of Thunder on tank, Biz Salty DPS line, Noctis and Pascal supports, and then for your worldwide, Amarin, Tristan, Sawhill on DPS, which I'm not too familiar with Sawhill, but I think
Sawhill's on the tank.
Oh, Sawhill's on tank. Okay, yes. Never mind. I didn't realize the lineups were going to be like that. That's my fault. But yeah, Salty on tank, Redx, and Nolan Corona 5 on support. And we're seeing early pause, but we're seeing that Sombra Tracer from Good Boys, but we're also seeing a Doomfist over a Winston, which is a bit of an interesting adaptation. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that we just shouldn't trust the spawn rooms for fair. Now. I mean, they have like what 15 seconds to make a swap and go like, wait a minute, do we play one of the worst tanks in the game instead of the best tank in the game who does basically the same thing but just better? Yeah, no, we should probably pick the Winston. What I'm not surprised to see, but other people might be, is Nolan Corona on the Moira. I do think that if I'm remembering correctly, Nolan is one of the better Moira players in the world, and is certainly proficient on the hero. I
have seen Nolan Corona's Twitter feed. Yes, definitely a Moira player. Definitely one of the
an enthusiast, one might say.
A Moira connoisseur, even.
Indeed.
A verified Moira enjoyer. But yeah,
very passionate main.
This is a very interesting comp from Worldwide, actually, with its Junker Queen, May Sojourn. Looking to play more or less straight brawl, looking to play the sustain-heavy playstyle, where you're just looking for a target to run onto and isolate. Kind of similar to the dive, but at the same time, kind of different.
Here's the thing. Biz is going to be able to control all of this space. It forces the rotation from Worldwide. They have to go in through White Room now to just avoid all of that spam damage from the Pharah, and nobody can be caught out alone. Tristan is looking very susceptible to a dive right now, but is able to slide into the White Room nonetheless. Worldwide going to be looking to establish themselves on the point and potentially isolate Salty, whoever just tries to come to contest. You see Salty on this kind of flank angle, just trying to get that shield health built up with those abilities. But it is going to be Worldwide looking to establish the presence on this point. Not quite doing so yet. Salty, the first to fall, because again, if you go in alone as the Doomfist against this really brawly composition, everybody's going to turn and look at you. Emerin getting a nice shot onto Blizz as Worldwide cap point.
Yeah, I think the big issue with how I mean, Worldwide, excellent rotation onto the point from them. It got a bit sketchy. In that White Room where you could see Salty was able to kind of trap Worldwide in that room, but they weren't really able to do anything off of them because their Pharah wasn't really in a position to set up. Now with Salty switching over to the Junkrat, maybe they're going to look to take this more direct brawl.
That's a big pick from Worldwide there, able to take that additional angle that the Tracer can provide out of the fight, but the Nano Barrage will take down Emerin and such. They have no Mei wall to isolate Salty, who will still have to back away into that smaller room due to the pressure from the Coalescence, which Nolan will use to find the final blow onto Salty, who will subsequently be rezzed. Thunder finding the pulse bomb onto Tristan, very quick to come back there. Axe goes out onto Salty, going to be all the focus fire going into them, but a clutch nade there from Pascal. Nading 3 will enable Good Boys to just focus down the Junker Queen and the Moira, and it's just going to be Red X trying to stall.
Yeah, I think, okay, Good Boys are able to cap the point. I think the big thing with Worldwide there was they popped both of their support ults around the same time, which that's all your sustain in a longer fight gone. You lose them both at the same time, and you could see Good Boys were able to get that pull. I mean, they used their pull bomb earlier in the fight, but they were able to get a second one up, and without that sound barrier sustain, without that coalescence, they're able to push it. Kind of just crumble.
That's a good rampage there. Hits 3, but Salty isolates himself in the process, and the rest of Worldwide is able to focus them down. An overclock there from Tristan just to put in a lot of pressure onto Salty and chunk down the health initially to enable the rest of Worldwide to get that kill, who are just now rotating onto Emerin with a lovely shot onto Thunder, but he's gonna use that barrage to take out Nolan, which will be subsequently shut down there by Tristan. It's going to be Salty now back, trying to find something on this Doomfist, but Tristan's going to shut it down with a headshot.
Yeah, Tristan's putting out an absolute clinic thus far on the Sojourn. The bigger issue for Good Boys is that it feels like their DPS aren't able to match the value that Worldwide's DPS are getting because they're not playing at the same pace as the rest of their team. That being said, Thunder switching onto the Reaper, Biz onto the Mei, they're fully switching onto this Junker Queen comp, taking this mirror matchup. I think that's going to serve them a lot better.
And that's an excellent rotation there from Salty, but they will still get naded out there and focused down by the rest of Worldwide, who've just done such an excellent job here of being able to find these picks with those high-value ultimates. Be that as it may, though, Good Boys still able to find a few picks on their way, but it's just not going to be enough as Worldwide are going to be taking Lijiang Gardens.
Yeah, Worldwide, I mean, unless Good Boys can pull out an insane stall, this map looks like it will be Worldwide. Noctis, rather, getting onto this point, but the full lesson from Nolan Corona is kind of just going to shut it down. And it kind of echoes the pattern of what I feel like we've been seeing throughout this map, throughout this Lijiang Gardens, where Good Boys, they're kind of just rushing in. They're not really doing anything. They're not really setting up their Pharah. They weren't setting up their Pharah really initially. They were kind of just going in. Salty's running onto the point, but they're not playing off of Salty. They're not playing off of Biz. With that Pharah, I really feel like you have to be playing around it in order to get value out of it. And Worldwide, with this much more unitary brawl comp, with a composition that thrives more on hive mind, the overall team presence, and overall coordination to burst down a target, I think they're doing a lot. They're looking a lot better because they're able to play to their strengths a lot more.
I think maybe Good Boys would have benefited from keeping a more mobile tank instead of Salty going over onto the Junker Queen, because all the Junker Queen does is give Worldwide a target to wall off and isolate from the rest of the team. Be that as it may, we're going to be seeing a brawl-ish matchup here. Main variation, of course, being the Junker Queen versus the Ramatra. The Ramatra, of course, having a bit more sustain in the long run, but the Junker Queen having a lot more potential to just run an isolated target down. Thunder gonna have to leave that high ground due to the pressure that the Sonic Arrow exerts just by being there. Thunder built up the railgun, looks for the shot, only finds a body shot onto Emerin, not too much pressure there. Worldwide gonna be going in, but it's gonna be Sawhill actually, who's gonna be the first to fall here, followed swiftly by Emerin. Good Boys gonna be taking their first cap.
Yeah, this compositional matchup for Good Boys is a lot better in my opinion. I mean, the Junker Queen comp, it's a lot more of a straight fight. It's a lot more of a straight up in your face run at the other team composition. Whereas Worldwide, with that Ramattra, with that Hanzo, you have to play a lot more pokey. You have to play a lot more angles. Sawhill switching out of this Junker Queen is gonna look to take more of that straight brawl duel. But look, they're already split off by the Maywall, and Good Boys with this position are able to just take so much of the momentum early on in this fight.
Yeah, it just gets walled off and isolated immediately. The commanding shout just forced out to little to no value because they weren't able to run in with it. Though, Tristan has found Noctis with an arrow body shot. Nolan is going to pop the Coalescence here to try and keep Sawhill alive through this blizzard. But I think they've just about broken line of sight. Nolan Corona, though, the absolute hero, going to body block some of the damage there from Biz, forcing Salty to just try to use this rampage here to secure this fight. Redek's going to be using the sound barrier, but so much damage has been outputted onto Sawhill that it did just fall anyway, and all the while Good Boys going to be continuing to tick up percentage.
That was excellent from the supports of Worldwide. I mean, Redek's with a massive loop and then a massive sound barrier to counteract Salty's rampage, but it just wasn't enough because again, Good Boys in that position, they're holding the choke, they're able to get so much, they're able to get LOS onto the entirety of Worldwide for free, and you saw how much that affected them.
Essentially big blizzard here. Thunder with the overclock is gonna zone away Worldwide, but they didn't expect a slide in there. Thunder's gonna find two. Tristan and Emerin back to the spawn room with you. Gonna diff both DPS in one go.
That's just the mechanical skill taking of a tier 2 player taking up. Nolan pops the Coalescence in a very deep position. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess with the point shooting up to 92% and counting, you have to try and make something happen.
Ooh.
That being said, Salty gets picked early and is not really looking good, as Redex is going to be able to touch, but for how long, I don't know. Redex falls, it's just Sawhill on the point.
Well, Biz could die here.
And Biz might. Wait, Tristan! This fight's actually winnable now.
Indeed it is, but unfortunately, Biz just popped off. Not nearly enough damage focused into the Mei. He was just on 1 HP at Antides. Was able to get those crucial kills and put this map back into even territory.
Yeah, I mean, Good Boys, that stall on that second fight was so well executed. It was absolutely massive for them. And it allowed them to get such a big point advantage percentage that when Worldwide backed out, they'd invested so much and they'd given so much point percentage that they had to rush and try and make something happen, which you saw came in the form of Nolan pulling out that Coalescence in a very deep position. Nolan's swapping onto the Baptiste now, maybe not feeling the Moira so much anymore, which, fair enough, into this comp of Good Boys.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It seems that Worldwide are going to be going for the classic TP strat, going to try to hold down the fort on the point and just wall off whoever may dare challenge them at the choke.
Yeah, this is very good from Worldwide. They're taking space here. They're holding this point. They're holding the very edges of this point, not really giving Good Boys anything to work with. And you can see, Good Boys recognize that. They get Worldwide gets one pick, and Good Boys just back off. They don't want that smoke. They're going to just sit back, wait for whoever fell to come back, and they're going to look to try again.
Newly buffed Simorb, secondary fire coming in clutch to get that kill onto Pascal, but it's a new fight now, and Good Boys are going to be trying to take a different approach. Salty's just going to run straight into the backline. I believe the Mei flanked onto Nolan Corona there? That's absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. Tristan's still going to find Salty for their trouble, though, but Good Boys managed to find so many picks off of that high-value play there.
I mean, yeah, that's textbook Junker Queen and Mei synergy. With the commanding shot engaged from Salty onto playing off of Biz, who's already so close to this blizzard. Good Boys are looking really good on this Junker Queen comp, it has to be said. Once they've gotten any bit of momentum, it started to look like this matchup is tending towards them in the Brawl composition matchup. But Worldwide, with these ultimates, with these DPS ultimates coming online, are gonna look to change that, I think.
Simwall's gonna come out, but the Blizzard comes out first. Emerin gonna have to be Immortality fielded there, but Good Boys are still finding the picks nonetheless. Very high value Blizzard there from Biz. And Thunder's gonna find the last one onto Nolan Corona. Team kill for Good Boys.
I think Thunder's had 2 3Ks in a row. He's been absolutely an absolute visionary on this soldier, on this point. Okay, Good Boys got a bit deep, trying to make Sawhill's life a bit less enjoyable. Just trying to pressure out the Reinhardt there. But there's almost another one for Thunder. This guy's crazy on the soldier.
There's going to be an Amplification Matrix and Blizzard engage, but they have the Sound Barrier, they have the Coalescence, and Thunder's there with the Overclock, but Salty's already dead, and Emerin finds the body shot through the window onto Thunder. Biz just a little caught out there, having to cryo-freeze in the middle of Worldwide, and the moment that they exit, just crunched upon.
Yeah, that window from Nolan, I thought was... I thought he was cooking a bit too hard with that one. But it seems I was wrong. Worldwide got the vision and they played around it excellently. Emerin in particular, like you said, it was Emerin and Tristan both getting those picks with the Sim right click and the May Icicles through the window. But Good Boys now. That
was a very aggressive play there, and it works out for them. They do get the pick onto the Lucio, but Sawhill is just absorbing so much pressure here. Tristan has the Sim wall available if they really need it, but I don't think they will. Worldwide is just content to hold down the fort here, and Noctis gets back and is going to be able to push Good Boys through this choke. Maywall now used by Emerin as well as Biz, but Biz has the Blizzard and is going to go for it. Sawhill forced to pin out of it. Immortality field used, but it's not going to save Nolan Corona as they're just about caught in the Blizzard. Noctis finding Sawhill as well. Knife goes out onto Redex. It's going to be the Blizzard almost built in time for Emerin, but Good Boys are going to be able to reflip.
Yeah, I mean, that was really good from Salty. Just being able to turn that fight effectively into a 3v5 by holding that space on the edge of the point, keeping Sawhill and I believe it was no, it wasn't Tristan, but keeping Sawhill, that Reinhardt, who had so much presence, keeping him out of the fight, that does so much for Good Boys, and now we're going to see the exact opposite with Worldwide getting onto the point first.
Indeed, Amplification Matrix as well as the Blizzard used. Not much found there for the Blizzard as well, but space created. Nolan Corona is going to be able to trade out Salty, but unfortunately, it's all coming up green in the kill feed for Good Boys, and they're going to get their point up to 100% and take Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, I mean, just excellently played on the Junker Queen comp from Good Boys, from Salty, from Biz, from Thunder, but it has to be said that the supports of Good Boys have been doing a really, really solid job making this competition work with some pretty unconventional plays from the rest of their team. Salty getting a bit aggressive, getting into some pretty aggressive positions, rather. Biz just going on crazy flanks. I mean, you saw that first fight, just getting into Worldwide's backline and wreaking havoc. And I think Worldwide, we're going to Numbani as our second map. So Worldwide's gonna have to figure out a way to kind of stifle this wilder, more uncontrolled playstyle. We are probably gonna see some different compositions on Numbani, which is obviously a map favoring a lot more high ground, a lot more mobile compositions, a lot more mobile heroes, which the Junker Queen comp is not really that mobile, it has to be said. I mean, cover straight ground in a straight line sprint, it's pretty fast, but
yeah, not much verticality is there.
Exactly.
With the Junker Queen. It's more just a sort of it goes in one line. It doesn't really have a third dimension to it. It's just the one line, and it's good at going in that one line. It works going in that one line, but if you try and go anywhere else apart from that one line, you may as well be playing the Winston.
It's kind of like that one Pokemon. I forget what it's called. I think it's Linoon or Linoon. It can go really fast in a straight line, but it cannot turn at all. It has to completely stop to turn.
Yeah.
But which is ironic because it does kind of look like a dog. I think it's more modeled after a raccoon, but the resemblance is still there. But anyway,
more ferrety, it looks to me at least.
Yeah. More like a. Actually, yeah, you're right. More like a ferret. But I mean, Worldwide, they are Worldwide. You would have to assume they have knowledge of almost every animal out there, being that they are quote unquote worldwide. So going into Numbani, it's going to be they're going to look to sort of counter this playstyle from Good Boys. Maybe on a different comp, we're going to see something different from Good Boys entirely on a different map with different heroes. But from Worldwide, they are going to be making a substitution. Emerin out for Amadou, which does suggest that they want to lean towards those different heroes.
Indeed, Emerin, of course, the Mei player for the majority, in fact, I think the entirety of Lijiang Tower there, so maybe they're subbing in someone who's more accustomed to the dive DPS, perhaps maybe a Tracer, Sombra, perhaps even a Genji every now and then. We don't really see him anymore, but could be seeing him now.
Indeed we could, you never really know. And going into Numbani, we're going to see Good Boys on defense first. Noctis, I believe, selecting the Brig. I'm pretty sure that's Brig. Redix as well on the Brig. Okay. This does seem to suggest that Tracer Sombra with the Brigana. Thunder, though. I don't know what hero that is, but it's not... Okay, never mind. Thunder's on Tracer, I'm being trolled. Yeah, there it is. Tracer Echo over Sombra. I mean, with the verticality of Numbani, especially with first point, makes sense that they want to lean towards that more fluid playstyle of the Sombra, or of the Echo, my mistake. But Nolan Corona on the Ana, which is... I don't know how much he plays this character.
Well, I mean, we're going to have to find out. Of course, the support of Worldwide that isn't in this game is Floomfy, I believe, if Liquipedia is to be believed. So perhaps just another flexible pick there for Nolan, who's maybe a passionate Moira main, but isn't averse to the occasional flex.
Definitely not a one-trick.
No.
Which, you can't really have a one-trick in Contenders, unless you're that one Korean team, or, oh yeah, Europe, or Clockwork Vendetta, long live the Kings. But we're going to see both these teams kind of grappling for this high ground control. Biz just sitting on this low ground poking, looking to force something out from Sawhill, from Redx, from Nolan. Nothing really forthcoming, though.
That focusing beam is going to be very threatening there for Sawhill, but it's actually going to be Amadou to find the first pick there onto Pascal, albeit Salty will find the trade over onto Tristan, but I think that Ana is a much more valuable pick there for the side of Worldwide, but they can't really engage without their Tracer. Instead, they're just going to walk forward onto points as Good Boys retreat. They're going to be retaking space any moment now, but all the while, they're giving up ticks.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this position for Worldwide is pretty solid. You have your backline on point, you have your Winston on point. It's so hard for Good Boys to displace. Being said, Amadou takes out Salty, but any attempt they might have had is crumbling in the wind. That being said, Biz with his duplicate onto the Ana, able to get 2 picks. Ana of all characters, not the pick you would expect to see, nor the pick you would expect to get that much value. Sawhill dropping very, very low.
Biz is going crazy.
Comes out. Tristan nearly comes to his own pulse. Dies to his own pulse.
Biz went crazy. Biz went crazy.
Biz actually just went crazy, getting 2 with the Ana. Tristan takes out Thunder, though, so maybe a window opportunity for Worldwide to come back in and take this point.
They do have the duplicate as well as the rally available. That Nano's coming out real soon as well, so they're just going to build that. Maybe Nano boost the Winston here. 2 anti-nades go out onto Salty and Biz is going to be taken down there. That's absolutely crucial there for Worldwide. We saw he's the real power player last time. Thunder's going to find 2, though, with the Pulse Bomb, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Nolan Corona finds the Anadiff with Biotic Grenade, and Worldwide going to start this payload on its path.
I mean, Worldwide just really, really well played. Even with Thunder getting 2, that dive was so clean. I mean, you force the backline of Good Boys out of position almost instantly in the fight, and that just does so much for you. It enables you to take so much more space and enables you to aggress more freely, as the other team can't really contest you as effectively when their backline is under so much pressure.
It's a very bold very bold duplicate there from Amadou. Doesn't seem to work out all that well for them, but it does force the Nano Boost onto Biz, and the Primal Rage will come out from Sawhill, who'll be quickly dispatched and fly into Atria, as Thunder takes him out there with the Pulse Pistols. Good Boys going to be able to establish themselves on this second point here.
Yeah, I mean, that fight really just seemed like Worldwide got way too aggressive. They got a bit, they saw red and they got a bit split, a bit disconnected. But Salty will make no such okay. I was gonna say Salty will make no such mistake, but he falls at the hands of Tristan, not before getting 2 picks. I'm gonna switch on to this Ash, maybe to deal with the Echo of Biz, which we have seen is getting very, very significant value. So this strategy of more limiting Biz's value could end up paying big dividends, although it does hurt the dive of Worldwide a little bit.
Nolan has the pulse bomb, going to be looking for a stick. Nolan's going to be the one to be forced out there. And as well as getting the kill onto Redex, Salty will enable Thunder to find that pick onto Nolan Corona, but Worldwide going to trade it out in force, taking out Salty and Biz both, but that payload still rests idle.
Indeed it does. I mean, you're going to see Sawhill grappling for control with Thunder. I mean, I guess it's one of those situations where size matters not. It's just, I mean, a massive spaceborne ape versus a very small British time traveler. You're gonna see the tracer back off here, but Thunder and Salty re-engaging onto Amadou and Redex. Redex's rally is forced out, but Redex is thriving here. Tristan taking out Thunder as well. Worldwide have somehow kept their backline alive and seem to be winning this fight now.
And they've used both of their support ults for it, as well as... no, that was not a Bob. I am completely mistaken there. But Salty, they forced the Primal Rage out of him. Rally's going to be used there by Noctis, but it's not going to save them from an anti-nade. Nolan's been so consistent at finding value with this, even in death from Biz. It still works out well for Worldwide.
Yeah, Worldwide just put themselves into a really good position there, I think, where you're just able to force the backline of Good Boys to play far back, to always have them on the back foot. And even with Noctis popping that rally, Worldwide again are just able to get that free engage off because there's nothing to really stop them. And with Nolan hitting a huge nade, like you said, from getting value from beyond the grave, Good Boys are going to be in a bit of a dire position now.
Well, they have the Pulse Bomb available, and Worldwide's backline is prone to grouping together, but Amadou is just going to completely disrespect Good Boys and walk all the way up and will be punished for it as Biz finds the sticky grenade kill. Sawhill, of course, going to go for the Primal Rage, finding Pascal in the process. Nolan taking out Thunder as well. Biz being forced out of the backline by a Bob, but will still retain their life and be a threat to Worldwide.
I don't know how much threatening Good Boys are going to be doing at this point in time. All Salty can really do is hold space. Even with that nade onto Redex, that being said, Good Boys only really coming out on this one ult, and it is the Primal Rage of Salty. Redex has the rally, pops it instantly. Nolan Corona almost got to this nano, which could be huge in turning the tide of the fight. It's invested into Sawhill on this Winston, who's just buying so much space for the rest of their team. Sawhill taking out 2, gets Pascal as well.
Yeah, forces Primal from Salty. There's no support available here for Salty in this backline, and they will just get burnt away. And Nolan's already found a pick onto Thunder as well. Biz is going to have to invest the focusing beam to kill Amadou, but Tristan's going to trade them out in turn. I don't know if Good Boys are going to be able to contest here. They are, as Thunder blinks onto the point, but Good Boys, they're trickling out of spawn and into all of this spam damage from Worldwide. It's all up to Thunder to try to stall it out for as long as he can. It's going to get the pick onto Sawhill, but Tristan's going to trade them out in turn. Salty, such a limited health pool on that Doomfist. Even with the nano, they still die because of that biotic grenade. Nolan finding so much value out of these nades. But I don't know if it's going to be enough as Good Boys. They just have the closer spawns.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of reminiscent of 2CP, that final stall was. Just the endless waves of respawn, feeling like a Call of Duty horde mode. But with the clock dropping to 60 seconds now, look at the ult economy for Worldwide. They have the nano, they have the Primal Rage, they have Tristan's bomb basically online. This is going to have to get something massive with this duplicate to stem the tide.
Is still looking for that spare ult charge. Salty's going to find Nolan. That's absolutely huge. 98% to the nano boost with 40 seconds to go. Sawhill, such low HP, has the Primal Rage available, but is desperate not to use it for that final engagement. 30 seconds left now for Worldwide to regroup and push this point.
Worldwide are going to have 4 ults though. They didn't invest anything into that fight. And Good Boys only have 3. Well, actually, no, I lied. Good Boys basically have 4. This rally from Noctis is going to be critical. If Noctis is able to stave off this dive from Wide, who are almost going to have 5 ults now. It's not looking great for them with this nanovisor being popped, but who knows? Maybe
it's brilliant.
I was going to say maybe it's suitable for Good Boys, but it's not looking good.
No, it is not. Salty's going to try and find something with Meteor Strike. Immediate slapped out of it by Nolan, but they're just taking so much pressure. Finds the Pulse Bomb onto them. Thunder does. And Salty, try as they might, can't stall out the point for much longer, but there's a Kiriko Lucio now, and if that's one thing they're known for, it's stalling out points for ridiculous amounts of time, as Pascal pouring so much healing of Fuda into the Genji, but it's not going to live to tell the tale as Worldwide find the 3rd point in overtime.
Yeah, that's great recovery from Worldwide, especially with those swaps. I mean, you saw Red X onto the Lucio for a bit, you saw Amadou swapping over to that Soldier, off of the Echo, off of the Ashe. A bit of an interesting one, even with these Soldier 76 buffs. I question the viability of the Soldier 76 pick just because there's so little for him to keep himself alive. Like, yeah, you have that healing station, but you don't really have the mobility, the anti-dive that a coach gun, that the hover jets from, I don't know what it's called, the Echoes Fly has. It feels like you would just get run over by a good dive, but it never seems like Good Boys really able to get that proper engage off that they wanted onto Amadou. And Worldwide do complete an overtime, so Good Boys need to cap with more than a minute to put themselves in the best position to win this map. That means they're pulling out a... Okay, what is this comp from Good Boys? I don't know what's going on.
No, I get the idea. I get the idea. The one problem I do fear is Pascal is going to be very alone and very vulnerable if the Kiriko plays with the Tracer, as is often the case. But Good Boys, they really have a comp that relies on all-inning onto Worldwide's backline.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. With that Kiriko, you really want to be enabling your flanks. You want to be... You're playing as a 3rd DPS. In the early stages of the fight, as you can do with that swift step mobility, with the 120 damage headshot of the kunais that Kiriko does have at her disposal. But Worldwide, they're going to look to play around angles a lot here, with Amadou on his Echo again, Tristan on this Tracer, just looking to deny Thunder the space that they want on these flanks.
I mean, already the Kiriko value is clear. Oh, Tristan, very low HP, hacked out there by Biz, but fortunately able to get behind cover as Amadou does find Noctis there. Pascal alone in main, no Kiriko to peel, just dead as a doornail. Salty does find the trade onto Nolan Corona, but trades their life out for it.
Yeah, that just very, very nicely done. Good Boys. Nolan... Why? Okay, Nolan was swapped to Moira and then back to Ana.
Not the spawn.
Biz and the spawn. Biz and Thunder are in Worldwide spawn.
They get the camp.
Nolan.
That's huge.
That's kind of rude. That feels kind of mean.
I mean, if it works, you know. And as such, Worldwide, they don't have space.
There's no penalty for spawn camping. There's no -1k for spawn camping. So Good Boys, yeah. Now moving on to this point.
Yeah, the only -1 is the amount of players on the enemy team, and Good Boys are just going to be almost completely uncontested on this point. Tristan is going to just about get the retouch at 92.5%. Salty is going to be forcing Soul Hill away. The amount of damage just poured into anyone who tries to contest just enables Good Boys to get this point.
Relic's not happy with that sleep dart from Pascal, as you can see in the match chat. But I really think Salty on this Doomfist has like so improved from that Li Jiang Garden performance. Pascal did not have a good time in his middle school spelling bees, but he still gets his point across. Basically telling Redix to cope and see, as we all have, I'm sure, in our ranked matches. But Good Boys now with setting a pretty good standard for this attacking push from them. Sawhill though looking to get onto this high ground. Not just playing hide and seek with the other team's Winston, but the backline of Worldwide just nowhere to be found as they get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, you know, Good Boys, they went all in on Worldwide's backline. They do win the fight for it, question mark, as Good Boys, they do lose Pascal for it. Salty, it puts enough pressure onto Saw Hill to force the Primal Rage, and it's objectively, I'd say, in downtime. Salty as well gonna have to use their ultimate in order to escape.
This fight's gotten so scrappy though, it feels like it's never really ended, and now Tristan with his Pulse Bomb is gonna look to make a difference. That being said, Thunder's already made a difference of his own, taking out Redx so early on. The Nano on the Salty takes out Nolan. Again, look at how weird this fight's gotten. Everyone's on opposite sides of the map.
Imagine the call in both teams' chats is trade backlines, because that's all that's happening at the moment. And it's just Good Boys consistently coming out on top because they have less of a backline to trade, because 4 of them are all in on it worldwide.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, this dive mirror kind of in Overwatch 2 relies on trading backlines. You don't have that off tank to peel. You don't have the off tank to enable your dive. So you're kind of just gambling on being able to trade the backline. These hacks Nolan and just completely ignores him. That's great.
Amadou's duplicate does fall, but Sohail finds Pascal for it, so Good Boys don't have the space that they would otherwise want. Salty is going to be looking for anything onto Sohail there, but Tristan makes the smart swap over to Sombra, forces out Salty, hacks a mid-block, and is going to be able to enable Worldwide to focus them down. Sohail just about being kept up, hasn't jumped out yet, will do so as I literally say that. Thanks a lot, Sohail.
Sawhill is just playing to spite you at this point. It is what it is. Redx though in a very interesting position, able to use that rally. That's a really lucky. Well, not lucky. That's really smart.
EMP though.
From that's a big EMP. The Kitsune rush from Noctis as well.
Yeah, it's a big AMP, but it doesn't really find much. It only really forces the nano out there from Nolan, and it doesn't really work out for them because Amadou falls. Tristan trades it out with a kill onto the Thunder of the Tracer of Thunder. Sohail's going to try and primal in this room. Again, Noctis not going to be able to peel there without endangering their own life, but Salty still finds Redx for it. But again, Worldwide, they're content here. They just want to drain the time bank, and Salty using this Meteor Strike is going to be absolutely clutch. It's going to find a kill onto Nolan, but it trades out for it. Good Boys, they're continuing to fight here, and they're getting payload progression for it.
I'm sitting here with my jaw on the floor, just completely confused as to how Good Boys are winning these fights. It feels like they're always down 1, down 2, but Biz is somehow getting these picks, Salty's somehow getting these picks, and keeping these fights in the balance to the degree that they've somehow managed to put this part really far. There it is again!
Yep, yet another tank trade, but this time, Perf, Thunder has the nano boost and can pick up 3.
Thunder's just take, this is Thunder's world, and Worldwide is just living in it. They are no longer Worldwide as
Thunder,
Good
frankly,
Boys.
is him.
If Thunder is just him. Thunder is just John Tracer. It's just, this guy's putting on an absolute clinic on the Tracer, really. And it could not have come at a better time for Good Boys. As now, look at the time bank. Worldwide, they can't win. They can't win this map. I know. I love to say it's always winnable to my teams, to my players, but it really isn't for Worldwide. You just have to hope for a draw. And with 2 minutes 30 seconds almost on the clock for Good Boys, it's not looking good.
Certainly not. Worldwide. They're really going to have to pull something out of the bank here, and they're going to attempt the Tracer Sombra here again, expecting, I think, the Doomfist from Salty.
I like the Sombra. If the Sombra's playing more with the backline, just to disable the Doom's abilities, just to make the Doom a little bit more vulnerable so that backline has more of a chance of surviving. But into this comp, with the Sombra on the other side from Biz, with Noctis on that Kiriko enabling flanks, I think Worldwide's backline is just gonna get blown up. Like, we haven't even seen Noctis playing that aggressively on the Kiriko, getting that much value out of those flanks. Like, you're not seeing them in the kill feed too much, but it's still working out surprisingly well. As, I mean, Thunder and Biz are being enabled well enough to just get the value that they need. And with this high ground control from Worldwide, the question remains if they can do it one final time to put themselves up 2-0.
This is going to be found out immediately, unstealthed. 1 tick really is all that Good Boys need. Sleep goes out there onto Sohail.
Oh, not a great position.
Yeah, can take a lot of damage.
Yeah, these sleeps from these autos are so clinical. Both tanks getting slept up instantly on their dive. That being said, look at this. This position from Noctis is insane. He doesn't hit shots, but he doesn't really need to be hitting shots. He's creating space. The teleport gets cancelled though, and Tristan takes him out instantly. Not the start. Good Boys wanted at all.
Yeah, but Pascal finds the trade kill onto Sohail, so you know it's not completely unwinnable for Good Boys, and Biz is still just content to try to farm that EMP. 82% to Tristan's 52 was almost outbuilding Amadou's pulse bomb until that one clip onto Biz there.
Yeah, these DPS are just so good at farming their ult. Pascal as well, 90% to that nano. That's going to be very, very big, as that is going to enable Salty to get so much value out of his engage. So much more than Sawhill has been able to find, I think, throughout the course of this map. That pulse bomb, though, oh, doesn't really get anything.
No, it doesn't quite. Thunder has the pulse bomb of their own. Gonna get the nano boost, but Nolan's already found Salty. But Noctis finds the headshot onto Tristan. 96% to that EMP. Biz has one in the bank available for use, but Thunder is just gonna try to stall out this point here. Biz gonna have to translocate away. Slick goes out onto Sawhill. That's absolutely massive, but can Good Boys capitalize? As Salty's coming back from spawn, Redex finds the kill here onto Noctis. Nano boost out onto Amadou's Tracer. Rally out from Redex. Worldwide are fighting tooth and nail to stop Good Boys from getting anything here.
And the final nail in their coffin has not been hammered in yet. 20 seconds left on the clock for Good Boys. It's getting desperate. Amadou gets
dead.
They have nothing. Good Boys have nothing in the bank. They can't even touch.
Nothing but an EMP in a dream, Perf. Nothing but an EMP in a dream. But Amadou, so close to finding out Biz, has to translocate away. Gonna have to touch this point. 3 seconds left on the clock. It's just gonna be about to make it there. But Biz, just gonna have to wait for this EMP. Gonna go for it, but I don't think there's gonna be enough follow-up unless there is. Salty goes for the Meteor Strike. Desperate to find a kill, but gets slept out of it. Tristan finding Biz there as well. Amadou has the pulse bomb yet again, but likely won't need it. Tosses it out. Pascal almost dead there, but Thunder finds the kill onto Amadou. Nolan finds the kill onto Salty. Sawhill pops the Primal Rage just to stop Good Boys from being able to contest. Kitsune rush in, but I think it's too little too late here from Noctis. Worldwide are going to be forcing a draw here on Numbani.
What a... Worldwide played that perfectly. That was actually impressive, beyond impressive from Worldwide. That last fight, you could see when Biz was sitting on the point as the point dropped into overtime, you could see Biz was looking for that EMP, but Worldwide recognized that. They knew Biz was looking for that EMP. He was able to sit on this high ground, even with Thunder getting this crazy value on Tracer, like he was in this play of the game. Worldwide's backline did such a good job in that last fight. I feel like that made all the difference, especially on this defense as a whole. It felt like they were never caught out of position. They kept forcing Good Boys to play at the pace that they wanted, and that was so critical.
Yeah, the amount of pressure that was applied to Salty, just not letting him get any space whatsoever, not being able to set up for any kind of dive, was absolutely massive there for Worldwide. And because they were able to force the draw, they're going to get their next pick, which is going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar, which forces yet another dive matchup. And now they know what Good Boys have in store for them.
Yeah, I think the flex supports on both teams have just been absolutely insane at shutting down the other team's dives. You could see just Pascal hitting those sleeps time after time. Nolan hitting what felt like every single sleep on Worldwide's defense. Just such a big...
Every Bionade too, let's be honest.
For Goodbye. That is true.
So
yes.
much value.
Nolan putting on an absolute clinic. And yeah, going into Gibraltar, again, very, very dive-heavy map. It's gonna be very interesting, I think, to see how this plays out.
Well, I still need to catch my breath from that, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my word. No substitutions as yet reported, so it's likely we're going to be seeing the same sort of matchups play out. Maybe Salty keeping that Doomfist pick there. Which isn't really particularly surprising. Salty does seem to be very comfortable on the Doomfist, and I honestly think that to be able to play the Doomfist to a level that could even match a Winston on a map like that takes a tremendous amount of effort.
Yeah, credit where due to Salty, putting out a very, very good performance on that Doomfist, getting some picks in just ridiculous positions, even with the excellent performances from Redex and from Nolan. Just some of the picks they've been finding have been downright absurd. Like there was one on Numbani third point where he comes out of Meteor Strike, he gets purpled, and somehow still with a nano invested manages to get just this absolutely ridiculous melee and primary fire combo onto Nolan on the Ana, which it just, I think that's kind of just a microcosm for this entire match, where it's just been absolutely insane plays that should not be working, but somehow did.
This is just crazy, honestly. We're going to be seeing more of the same, definitely, on Watchpoint Gibraltar, but I do feel like now Worldwide have Good Boys somewhat figured out. They're going to be able to adapt like they did on that second Numbani defense, where they were just able to force out that draw.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of that was adaptation. Some of it was also just really, really well played from Worldwide. Just very solid dive fundamentals. And they picked Gibraltar, so they have to be feeling confident going into this dive matchup against Good Boys. I don't know, is Biz gonna stick to the Hanzo? Because Gibraltar, a map that's even more angle dependent, even more map control dependent than Worldwide, or than Numbani. Sahil fraternizing with the enemy, perhaps in match chat. Pascal's playing the role of spoiler.
A little sweet talking never hurt anyone.
True. Oh, Sahil wants the follow. Respectable. We all need that.
None of that self-promo here. None of that self-promo here. None of that.
Yeah, leave that to us. Leave that to the casters. That's how it goes.
Indeed. Or do I just go for that standard teleporter?
Point, the teleport to get the backline across onto this left side high ground, onto this bridge. I mean, it's a common strategy, but it's a very effective one. We're seeing Tristan on the Widow, Biz on the Hanzo. This matchup's going to be very interesting, as Tristan could just take over the map if they get the picks that they want to be getting. The Venom Mine instantly goes down, but Worldwide, just looking to stage, looking to try and make something. Biz, that's disgusting.
Indeed. That's just that's ridiculous, but that's why you play the Hanzo, is just to be able to get that pick from any range mine. Widow can no longer do that sort of thing, and Biz is just going to be walking straight at the backline of Worldwide, forcing them to drop. Nolan looking very low HP there, having to use the nade on himself, and Redex will be able to sustain him through it.
I mean, Biz just playing that like the Brigidas of old. Just walking up on the enemy team's backline. Not really able to get a pick, but do you really even need to? The threat of the Hanzo hitting that one shot, like you said, so big. It just strikes spear straight into the hearts of Good Boys, of Worldwide's backline. Salty will be doing the same, getting 2 huge picks and opening this fight wide up for Good Boys.
Just going to be heading over onto the Ashe. I don't think he quite liked getting headshot there by the Hanzo, and the Ashe does allow you to put a lot more pressure onto the Winston and just really delay the dive.
Yeah, those dynamite anti-nade combos can be so nice as well for enabling the dive. I mean, you hit those 2 combos, you see the 2-man anti-nade already, not this dive, Sawhill's fault. Against 2, the backline, the healing from Good Boys is gone. Worldwide, at this point, wide open.
I mean, that anti-dynamite combo is so crazy. Like, one fight. All it took was one fight. Tristan's already on 77% ult charge. It took one fight of that for Worldwide to break first point. Good Boys. Going to
really
now be coming back for a contest here.
Yeah, but Good Boys looking for this contest. But Amadou and Sahil just going to put a quick stop to it. That's the issue with contesting like this. It's so rushed. It's so frenetic, so frenzied. You can't really make anything happen unless you get a pick early on in the fight, or unless you had already. Yeah, that's interesting investment. I think. I mean, both teams coming up on these 4 ultimates. Pascal's Nero gone. Yeah, that's not great for Good Boys. But this second point can be so snowbally. It's one pick, one fight, and the second point's basically capped. It's hard to live it early.
Not the body block. Not the body block there. Not only does it body block Noctis from being able to leave, it body blocks the healing from Pascal to keep that Brigitte sustained and alive. 2 ultimates used there from Worldwide. They're going to be very happy with the amount of card progression they're going to be getting out of that. And Salty's going to be receiving so much pressure here on this high ground.
Salty is going to be able to stay up here, though. I mean, you can see the backline of Good Boys coming back. That being said, Worldwide does have this rally, does have this primal, 75%, 80% to a pulse bomb is Amadou. And, I mean, Salty coming out with this primal early on, the rally from Redix top. This fight's going to be a very scrappy one, I think.
Yeah, Noctis has held onto their nano as well, and Biz is going to find the Storm Arrow headshot onto Nolan Corona. Sawhill falling very low in Good Boys' backline there. And that's a really good fight there from Good Boys, because they could have mirrored ultimates there, but they chose not to, and as such, they have the rally for this next fight.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. That's excellent discipline from Good Boys. The discipline is, I believe, something that's been a big factor in their getting to this point of the series where they have this map advantage. Where even though they were able to squeeze out that draw on Numbani, even though they were helped to that draw on Numbani, their discipline in ult usage, in staging for their dives, has been a big tool for success.
Double. That nade onto two people there, Pascal. Gonna be very happy with that, getting that Anadif onto Nolan Corona. They're delaying Worldwide's push even further, and all the while, Good Boys, they've got 4 ults in the bank.
Indeed they do, and they're 4 very impactful ones as well. That nano could go on to Noctis to survive the dive, it could go on to Salty to enable it. And Worldwide, they only have their nano of their own. For this fight, I mean, Good Boys have everything they need to take it, and Slaughter's already gone.
Yeah, that Dragon Strike there from Biz just to stop Worldwide from taking that specific high ground. I mean, Worldwide, they're just not having a fun time here on Gibraltar Point B.
Yeah, this second point is so oppressive for the attacking team. Because, like, look at the angle control that Good Boys has. Like you're saying, they're able to play for such little pieces of high ground because they have such total control over everything else.
They also have both their support ults. Oh, please! That's a crime! I'm quite sure that's a crime! You can't be doing that to people! Amadou just wanted to peek for a millisecond! You've already taken his blooming head off!
Someone stop Biz, please! Someone call the police. I don't think what Biz is doing is legal, and Worldwide being held to 60 seconds now on the second point push. Salty with his primal could create so much disruption. Look, they've already got a free engage onto the backline.
Oh, and Nolan's been antied as well. Big bubble there as well to isolate Redux. Nolan 1 HP. Salty's going to be able to clean that up with a Tesla cannon. Doesn't even need to worry about dropping low. Can just pop the primal to sustain. Tristan's going to find the body shot, though, onto Biz. So that is a pick that Worldwide have potentially coming into this next fight. But Salty's got that stagger kill there onto Amadou. And it's less than 30 seconds left for Worldwide to make a move. And Good Boys have had both of these support ults for, it feels like, years at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Pascal hasn't used that nano once. He could just use it onto, okay, there it is. It goes onto Salty just to gatekeep Worldwide a little bit. Gets stuck with the cold bomb, is very low, might actually fall here. And Worldwide, a glimmer of hope, a window of opportunity opens itself up.
Yeah, the Nano Rally, also known as the Raid Boss combination, coming in clutch there. Speaking of coming in clutch, though, Biz with that headshot there onto Amadou's just finished respawning. Worldwide, they now have the ultimate advantage. Noctis just about popped the rally there, but it didn't really find much success as Tristan finds the kill onto Thunder. Biz forced away, but Tristan finds that little tag at the end there just to send Biz back to the spawn room. Finds another onto Noctis. It's all fallen apart for Good Boys as Tristan finds 4 there.
The Good Boys are good, but Tristan might just be better in this fight. Absolutely magisterial from him in that fight, and it looks now like Good Boys are going to be unable to hold this second point as Worldwide, final hour, in a position to take second. That being said,
Sawhill!
He's on the Sombra! Please, that's massive!
Oh my word, Biz with the 3K in the overtime fight. No second point for Worldwide today, even as it looked so hopeful for them.
That was, I mean, Tristan just opens the window. Tristan opens the window, opens the door for Worldwide, and then Biz, ever the constant presence here, ever the talisman, the good luck talisman for Good Boys, the goodest of boys even, just shuts down any hope Worldwide might have had. They're going back to their corner in the middle of nowhere, and they're going to. The car's just going to stop right before the second point.
Good Boys have a goal now. They have a golden box of glory to get their payload to. The only thing standing in the way is the roughly 20,000 miles of circumference that the worldwide spans.
Yeah, it's it's a pretty big distance, but after the performance Good Boys put up on that second point hold, I think I have faith. I think they can cover that kind of ground. That being said, worldwide, this is not an insurmountable task for them, I feel. I genuinely think they can do this. I think this is holdable. That being said, this teleport from Thunder, yep, that textbook strategy, but it pays dividends.
Indeed it does. Nade there from Nolan. Just tries to set something up potentially for worldwide, but they're not willing to commit to that just yet. Sohil's going to be able to drop. Anti-air goes over onto Salty, taking a lot of damage there, just about gets around cover in time, but maybe not quick enough, falls incredibly low there, but kill not confirmed there from Thunder. Amadou is going to confirm the kill instead onto Thunder.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's only one fight, but worldwide, looking like Good Boys were on the second half of defense, where Good Boys just look so out of sorts, so disconcerted. It feels like they're just trying to make something happen, and Tristan isn't letting them have any of it.
Not at all. You want a peek? I hope you like an arrow in your forehead, because that's what you're going to get for doing that. Tristan also finding Pascal there with the storm arrows really opens things up there for worldwide and keeps Good Boys just caged in their spawn room.
Yeah, Good Boys they're going back to the kennel. They're not getting in. Worldwide already, they have the pulse bomb. They're 72% of this nano boost from Amadou. It feels like they have from Nolan, and yeah, there it is.
That's the stick. That's all you need. All you need is the pick onto the Ana, and the rest of Good Boys will fall like dominoes. Tristan very nearly killed there, but again, worldwide just have their supports alive, and Good Boys do not.
What's crazy is that Redx has barely been tested. Redx has barely had to play the game. He's at 73% of this rally, where everyone else on his team has either gotten that ult or has already abused it. Is Thunder?
Thunder! Alright! Alright, go for the Bastion! I don't mind it here. You're gonna force Sourhill out nice and early. Give Good Boys a little bit of space there. Biz is gonna go onto the Echo as well. Nano boost now onto Sourhill. Forces the backline away and gives Tristan the space to headshot Biz out of the sky, Robin Hood style. Sourhill having to disengage. Salty, the Primal Rage, not quite working out for them particularly well. Not even able to get Tristan off of that high ground that they're holding so dearly. Salty booped away. Pulse Bomb out there, but it's gonna be Salty to find a kill onto Amadou. Tristan with the storm arrows gets the kill onto Thunder. Worldwide, they've got 3 ultimates available, make that 2 as Redx pops the rally. But still, Good Boys just can't get anything done here.
This is outrageous from Tristan. This is actually ridiculous. That was a 3K. And it feels like Tristan's just been doing this whole defense. He's actually woken up. Tristan's just taking over the lobby. And Good Boys, it seems like they don't have an answer. Thunder onto the... Good Boys is on Junker Queen. What are they cooking?
They're trying to force Worldwide to play their game, but they've lost their Ana as well. Tristan has just been a dominating force on this Hanzo. They have the Dragon Strike available. 45 seconds left on the clock. Tristan can just press the button, force Good Boys away from their so beloved point that they're just desperately trying to get to A. Both DPS are still stuck in Good Boys backline, trying to deal with Amadou's Tracer because of how much of a threat it is. And Tristan just finds Thunder, because why not? You're Tristan. You can do anything. You, my friend, are him. Salty just about able to get the kill with the bleed damage from the Carnage. Nanoboost goes on to Amadou, just waits to receive it. Rally comes out there from Noctis, Pulse Bomb tossed in. Salty still able to find these final blows. Nanoboost onto him. He's just going to try to get these kills, as many as humanly possible. Redx falling incredibly low. Salty able to get the kill with the knife. Overtime.
I don't know what I'm watching anymore. I've just seen the DPS of Good Boys being held in their own spawn by one Tracer. I've just seen Amadou stand in the middle of the tunnel for a solid 3 seconds before getting nano and going in. I've just seen Salty 180 away from the other team to hit an axe on nothing. It just feels like Good Boys is all over the place, both mentally and in game. And it's really showing in, I mean, their composition more than anything, but Biz with this copy, I was gonna say gonna look to restore some order, but nothing happened.
I should have known better than to take the Hanzo 1v1 with Tristan. Fortunately, though, Salty has the Rampage available. Gonna clean up Tristan and Redex very nicely there. And Good Boys inching ever so closer to that golden box of victory. But do they have the ults for it, Perf?
Well, they only have that Death Blossom from Thunder, which you could use to just blow up the Winston. The issue with that is, Amadou has this Pulse Bomb, which is basically a free kill for a Death Blossom Reaper. Tristan has this Dragon Strike, which can do so much into this Brawl composition. As again, you don't have the verticality, you don't have that fast mobility, really, for most of the team.
Oh, mistake!
And Amadou takes out Urana.
That's unfortunate there if you're Good Boys. Commanding Shout invested there as well. Tristan's going to put the Dragon Strike down onto the cart, making it an absolute no-go zone for the rest of Good Boys. Biz lurking on the ship, going to try and find the kill with the Echo. Unfortunately misses the stickies, so no potential follow-up there as Tristan finds the headshot onto Thunder. Good Boys, they need to disengage. They need a reset. They need a good, clean fight here.
Asshole swapped onto the Moira, which with this brig just feels wrong to me. It just feels fundamentally wrong. And now Biz getting closer to this duplicate. The Good Boys are gonna have 3 ults to store worldwide, and it looks like we're just gonna have a straight up brawl in this little shuttle to determine possibly the outcome of the map.
Yeah, and I think Good Boys were just able to take Redex and Nolan Krona by surprise there. Biz is going to find a focusing beam kill there onto Tristan. Thunder still holding on to this Death Blossom potentially as an anti-touch measure. Nolan back here on the Kiriko, and Thunder's going to TP in with the Death Blossom. Doesn't really find anything, but it doesn't really need to, as Good Boys take Watch Point Gibraltar.
What did I just watch? That... I don't think that was a real map.
You watched a surprise
I don't know
brawl.
what I've just watched. Good Boys has just won with a Junker Queen, Brawl Comp, and Brig Moira on Gibraltar. That feels so wrong to say out loud.
It made sense to play, though. It made sense to play, because you had the rally available. You know that you can take that fight really, really quickly with the Commanding Shout. If you're able to isolate somebody in the ship, all of that close-range damage, the Moira Orb, the Junker Queen Axe, the Brigitte, the stun, as well as just the random whip shot kills, you can create carnage in that high ground space and just win out the brawl.
You can, but the thing is, worldwide in that scenario, they have so many angles, they have so much control over those high grounds that I feel like that comp you can kind of just play. You can just play angles, wait for your Hanzo to get a kill, wait for your Ana to land a big nade, and just go onto the other team. Except it never really felt like Worldwide did that. It felt like Good Boys were somehow able to take the fights on their own terms every time.
Because I don't think
Good Boys.
Because the thing is, I don't think Worldwide really could set up. Like, that fight went on for so long. They had to occupy so much of Good Boy's attention prior to that in order for the rest of the team to be able to get into that position with relatively low pressure, because all of the pressure is being directed to the point, which is being contested by a nigh unkillable Reaper.
That is true, yes. And, I mean, it's just at that point it just feels like it's just chaos Overwatch. It's just
yes it is.
Who can pull the crazy picks out more often, and in the end it was Good Boys, and credit to them for making it work. Full credit to them for, like you said, recognizing that Moira could be played there and making the swap accordingly for that extra sustain, for the extra brawl potential. Credit for Salty for making the Junker Queen work. Credit to Thunder for making a Reaper work, where admittedly the Reaper's probably the most logical pick there, alongside the Brig, alongside the Echo, I suppose. But going into our fourth and possibly final map, we are going to be going to push.
Yes. And it's going to be Colosseo. And I don't know about you, but I'm just expecting a Junker Queen versus Junker Queen mirror. Both teams have demonstrated that they just really want to play it. And Emerin coming in here indicates a more brawly play style.
Indeed it does. Emerin would probably like to play more of that Mei, the brawlier heroes, as we've seen. On Lijiang Tower, Amadou coming out. So yeah, I would imagine less Echo, less Sombra. Um, but for Good Boys, they haven't made any swaps. It I wonder what they're gonna look to run on this push map.
Again, I mean, for all we know, they could just go, right, that worked pretty well last time. Let's pick that Moira, Brig, Reaper, Echo, Junker Queen comp that we played on Gibraltar, because it worked last time. And I don't imagine we'll see... we'll see something similar to that. Probably not with the Brig. We'll probably see like a Lucio Kiri variation of that, or maybe
Probably,
not
yes.
with the Reaper.
I don't know what to expect. We're going to Colosseo, a map with that high ground. But even on this map, you don't really see that Brig on a backline. You don't really see that hard dive. You see more of a dive brawl hybrid. We're not going to see right away what either team is cooking here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is that brawl dive hybrid with the Winston, with the Lucio Carrier, maybe the Sombra Tracer.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't really be surprised. I do imagine that worldwide, maybe they're going to pick like a Ramatra Sojourn May kind of deal, just because of again like how well it worked out for them just on Lijiang Tower. But you know, again, it's really all to play for, and you know, this initially will reveal. Yeah, look at that. It's Ramatra Sojourn May kind of deal.
Okay, so this is just your bog standard brawl from worldwide. That Ramatra brawl. Good Boys with this Junker Queen swapping down to the Moira over the Kiriko. Interesting. But this May Sojourn DPS line is the only real constant here.
Now, I do imagine that worldwide are going to get a little bit more value with this Ana. I reckon Nolan is going to try to read the Moira pick here from Good Boys. Because, you know, if you get a nade onto a Junker Queen, she's dead. There's no more sustain for her. She's just dead. You need to save that commanding shout once you scout the Ana. They're going to be able to notice those little bullet tracers from the biotic rifle. Good Boys, they just want to play really passive here. They don't want to go really running in. They want Sawhill to come to them. They just don't seem to want to engage.
Indeed they do, but Sawhill's having absolutely none of it. Just playing around these outer edges of this person tunnel. Hey, the impact comes out on the Salty, as does the May wall from Emerin looking to isolate, but nothing will come thus far.
Thunder's getting very low there, just about poked out. Biotic Orb used there by Pascal just to get some healing down. Anti-nade in onto Salty and Biz. Biz gonna have to use the ice block. Salty slept out, looking very vulnerable there. Good wall there from Biz to isolate the Ramatra away from the support sightlines, but fortunately they do have the Nemesis form. They're going to get the nano boost in as well. Sawhill going to find the first kill of the game, if you can believe it, onto Salty.
Yeah, excellently played from Nolan Corona there. Getting that 3-man anti-nade, getting that nano onto Sawhill. But Noctis and Thunder keeping this fight in the balance maybe for a little bit, although it seems Emerin going to be able to clean up. So, worldwide now, going to be able to get first cap. They're close to every ult except for this nano boost here of Nolan, who's already built and popped.
Yeah, Salty is just gonna recontest the cart here, push it back forward. Good Boys have a healthy ultimate bank here, but worldwide they've already built the Annihilation. Salty only 70% to that Rampage. Gonna look for that knife, does find Red X. Very low HP, and that Coalescence is gonna finish it off. Blizzard comes in as well from Biz. Call it a Blizzard. And the Annihilation from Sawhill. Potentially a misplay, I think. It's such a valuable ultimate to be using 3 players down.
Yeah, indeed it is. I mean, that's not a great ult investment from Sawhill, it has to be said. But the DPS ults from Worldwide and the sound barrier from Red X into the sound barrier from Noctis and the overclock from Thunder and the rampage from Salty maybe still winnable for Worldwide, though Good Boys is going to be establishing a significant beachhead here, a significant lead on this part.
That's a fortunate May wall there for Salty. Very close to being isolated. Neither wall's available for either side. Sawhill forced to use that Nemesis form there. Thunder's going to find the Sojourn diff onto Tristan. Going to find the second kill onto Nolan. Salty with the knife going to finish off Sawhill. It's going to be Redx trying to stall out the bot a little longer. Salty's going to put an end to that. And Sawhill's going to call for a pause there.
Yeah, bit of an unfortunate timing for both teams, but right now, Good Boys is looking very good. I mean, they're establishing that lead. These ultimate investments are getting huge value, and it has to be said they look like good value to finish the series out right here, right now.
Yeah, I have been very impressed with Good Boys so far. I don't think that the matchup into Ramatra is necessarily a favorable one, particularly when they have an Ana, by the way, and you don't have a Kiriko to cleanse it off. I think Good Boys have done very well to play around that.
Yeah, I agree. Good Boys have done a great job of playing around that big hunk of metal that the Ramatra is. But worldwide now with 4 ults going to look to impose themselves onto this point, the overclock is going to come out first.
Sound barriers met from both teams. It's going to be a litany of ultimates invested there from worldwide, and they're going to get the value for it, but it's a lot of ultimates to use to prevent a forward spawn. Is it worth it, Perf?
Yeah, it's... That's every ult invested except for your Suffer, or your Annihilation. I don't even remember if that's what it's called, honestly. But
that's what it's called.
The Ramatra ultimate, that's all you have going into a Blizzard, into a Coalescence, into a Rampage. It's not looking good for worldwide. I feel like I've said it time and time again, but the ultimates are so in favor of Good Boys. This Rampage comes out with Salty only gets 1.
Yeah, the Solo Rampage is a pretty good tactic, I think. Biz is going to find a kill onto Emmerin, so he'll going to try for this Annihilation, try and even things up a little bit, but can't block from all sides, unfortunately, as Thunder gets the kill from the off angle. Redx, of course, going to find the melee kill onto Biz. But again, Good Boys, relatively economical here, only using 2 ults for that fight, and they're going to be getting their forward spawns lickety-split here.
Yeah, indeed they are. I mean, really good from Good Boys to rally back and just explode into that fight. Kind of just run over worldwide. Which with this Junker comp, with this Junker Queen comp, you kind of have to do that. You kind of just have to go past the Ramatra, go onto the backline. We're seeing Good Boys do a really solid job of that.
Good Boys. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Get the forward spawn, rotate away, take the fight in this very favorable location, try and get the wall off. Nobody frozen, but that Blizzard is going to create so much space. But Tristan from the off angle finds the railgun shot onto Thunder. Redx finds the kill onto Biz. Salty with that knife going to try and trade it out onto Sawhill. But it's not enough. But Good Boys, they get the forward spawn for it, only having to use the Blizzard, and they've got a good ult bank going into this next fight.
Indeed, they do. I mean, Redx looking more like Reddit out there. That was a terrible attempt at a pun. But getting up to the sound barrier now, the ultimates 4 worldwide, they're doing a great job cycling. It feels like they've got 4 ultimates up now to the 4 as well from Good Boys. But this fight still hangs in the balance very much so, with ultimates coming out from both sides.
They use the sound barrier specifically to try to sustain Salty through that Blizzard, but like, come on, if you've got an entire team looking at just a Junker Queen in a Blizzard, there's no amount of sustain in the world that's going to be able to save you from that. Noctis going to be the last bastion of defense here for Good Boys. Oh, no, it's going to be Pascal instead, but they're both dispatched with relative ease.
Indeed they will, and now worldwide, they might actually be able to even Good Boys push total, or push map percentage? I don't know what you would call it. But Tristan, okay, he's putting up some high percentage plays. Big pick on the Thunder. That's going to stop Good Boys' hopes at a real recontest. More than anything, it would just be a stall if they're even able to get back onto the bot here.
Yeah, worldwide. Almost getting to that forward spawn. Good Boys gonna have to use the commanding shot to try to recontest. Salty goes for a little bit of an off angle there. Rampage in. Did Redx just sound barrier specifically to save Nolan there as they used the Fate to escape? I mean, it worked out pretty well for them because Salty just completely isolated themselves. Thunder gonna go for this overclock here, gonna find the kill onto Nolan. Corona Sawhill with that Annihilation, not really gonna find much value. Good Boys are finding tooth and nail to prevent the forward spawns from being unlocked here, and it's going incredibly well for them as Thunder is finding all the value that they need. Worldwide, not quite able to match the meterage of Good Boys. That's what I call it.
Yeah, I mean, Lightning and Thunder. Lightning and Thunder. This guy is a true outlaw. No one is gonna get that reference. I will put money on it. No one's getting that reference. But good. I mean, he just saves Good Boys at the final hour. It feels like. And worldwide now, you only have the Coalescence. Granted, the boys do as well, but they're just gonna back off at this point, get that sound barrier up, and maybe look to re-engage.
Coalescences. Pascal's going to use theirs first. Nolan's going to try to trade it out. Good hack there from Emerin to cancel it out. And Tristan's going to find a headshot there onto Pascal. Red X going to get the boot kill onto Biz there. Thunder finding Tristan as well. Salty looking very low HP. Not going to be able to survive that, unfortunately. But again, you know, worldwide still haven't gotten their forward spawns yet. And Good Boys, they're going to be coming back with a sound barrier perf.
Worldwide, they are getting ever closer, though. I mean, you can see on that overall scoreboard thingy, only 3.93 meters left. The ghost of Nolan's Coalescence showed up on my screen for a second. I thought he was coalescing there. I was gonna say that's a very questionable ultimate there. On this Junkrat close to that rampage, the EMP out from Emerin is gonna be huge, and Thunder's gonna fall. No more Thunder. The clouds are gone. Biz though taking out Emerin. And Good Boys, how are you winning this, Good Boys?
Because the EMP just wasn't followed up on. They EMP3, but the only person to die there was Thunder, and the rest of, you know, Good Boys were just able to sustain themselves through it because there wasn't any pressure. Now, Good Boys, they're going into this final fight territory with a Blizzard. They've got a Rampage. They've almost got an overclock here. Emerin just tried to stall the bot out a tiny little bit there, but had to translocate away immediately.
Yeah, I mean, really well played from Good Boys to rally back there. Tristan, though, with the overclock, it could be massive. Could be literally everything.
Sawhill rampages into the Blizzard, though. Red X is going to pop that sound barrier there. Salty was in response to that rampage. Not going to be able to find anything yet. Tristan finds the railgun shot there. Takes Salty out of the fight, but Good Boys are content to lose this fight, I think. Thunder's got the overclock. Worldwide have no ultimates in the bank, and they've got to win multiple fights in the row here.
Indeed they do. I mean, maybe not. Actually, it might just be the one. It probably is just the one, actually, because you can see they only really have to get to the forward spawn. They only have to unlock the forward spawn, because I don't think Good Boys got any push beyond that. That being said, Thunder with this overclock could make all the distance, especially if he's able to get Tristan early. Salty, that's massive!
Absolutely nasty angle there from Thunder. All that space opened up just by that Sojourn. Salty's gonna get that final kill onto Sawhill, and Good Boys, after much trial, much tribulation, after a little bit of a stall there from Emerin, are gonna be taking the series 3-0 after a little bit of a kerfuffle on Numbani.
How did Thunder live on that final fight? I actually, genuinely, how? That was, I just watched this man's health bar go from 30 to 20 to 25 for like a solid 2-3 seconds, and he didn't die for a while with that overclock up. And I think that tenacity from Good Boys was what enabled them to ultimately win out. Just over the course of this series, the tenacity in their second point hold, in their Numbani attack, it just never really felt like they were down and out for sure. They always had some little advantage, some little thing to cling onto, and managed to make it work. Which, honestly, all credit to them. That was incredible.
Yeah, Good Boys, they've got a lot of fight in them. They're very scrappy, much like Scrappy Doo, who also happens to be a very good boy himself. But that is, I think, going to be the game today. We are going to be, I believe we're going to be bringing you the next game. It depends if we can find the staff for it.
Yes, there is. Good Boys do have another game, but yeah, like you said, that's the question is whether there will be other people to show up. But
yes,
I mean, even if not, I think I've quite enjoyed this one. This was a pretty good game, it has to be said.
Yeah, I'd love to do it, but it's 2:30 a.m. in the UK, and
That is
frankly,
fair.
I need sleep. I just need sleep.
That is
And
fair.
it's going to take me a while to get to sleep. I'm going to be replaying all of that in my mind just for pure entertainment purposes because it was such a fantastic game to be able to custom. So I'm very grateful to just have been here, honestly.
I'm grateful to be a part of this whole broadcast project. I mean, shout out to Timeless for making this happen.
Mm.
It's so great for lesser known for casters with less experience at such a high level of casting to get this chance, and really all credit to Timeless for that.
Mm. Indeed. Well, we're going to throw to break nonetheless, and I guess you'll know if we're going to continue by whether or not the stream ends abruptly, but uh, hopefully we're going to be right back. See
Hopefully.
you in a bit.